Welcome to NINDADS episode 485, maybe? Hold on, where did I put my document? There it is. 485, recorded today, July 4th, Independence Day. Way to go, America! 2024. Hey, I'm your host, Justin Masson, and today, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a solo show because everybody else is in the U.S. hanging out, celebrating Independence Day. So here we are. We get to hang out together, you and me, and well, just you and me, I guess. And we're going to do the show. So, yeah, excited to jump in. Solo show, as I mentioned. Now, before you all, jump out and send me DMs and messages and say, Justin, man, you should have told me it was a solo show. I would have happily jumped on and recorded with you. Would have been a guest, would have co-hosted, would love that. And I'll be honest, I get a lot of those messages when we do shows like this. The reality is that my schedule has just been absolutely jammers lately. So trying to coordinate other people to try and jump on to do a call. And I was just like, you know what, I'll just jump in and do this myself. Because right now, if I'm truthfully being told, it's 9 a.m. in the morning where I am Mountain Standard on July 4th. And that's why I'm recording right now. So it's going to be a bit of a different show. Because again, it is a solo show, just you and me. That isn't to say there isn't news, but we can jump into that in a couple of moments. But yeah, excited to be here. Of course, up here in the Great White North on Monday was Canada Day, which is very similar to Independence Day or July 4th, except a lot less fireworks and just more maple syrup and poutine. That's really the difference primarily as well. You know, it's interesting. I've been in the U.S. For July 4th, and I've obviously been in Canada all of my life, pretty much, for Canada Day. And I think one of the things I see in the U.S., and I was fortunate to be in the U.S. actually last year in Nashville. Met up with Mr. Marty Estes actually at that time as well for their July 4th, and there's just such a patriotism, I guess is the word, such a pride in being American. And I think you see that in Canada, but I think it's more humble. I think it's quieter. I don't think we're as loud about it, if that makes any sense. But both countries, congratulations on your week of celebration. I work for an American company, so I always have to remind people that no, Canada Day is a thing. It's pretty much Independence Day, just a couple days earlier. So yeah, so sure, look, here we are, folks. What's going on with me? Because that'd be the question that would ask. Obviously, we talked about Independence Day and Canada Day. My kids are actually both at camp this week. So it's interesting, and they're both gone for at least 2 weeks together. My oldest is gone for an entire month, and then my youngest is gone for 2 weeks. They come back on the weekends. Let me just be clear on that. They come back for a couple days on the weekends, and then they go back out to camp again. It's so interesting because my wife and I are sort of experiencing empty nesting. And it's so interesting because we're used to cooking for 4 people. Now we're cooking for 2. I'm like, what do you want to have? You want to just have a bag of, you want to just have some Doritos and salsa? What are we doing here? And just having time together with my wife has been pretty incredible. We did a date night, right? Just that kind of hey, I recognize you, reconnecting thing that I think sometimes we lose some of those connections with our partners as we kind of get into the nitty gritty day in and day out of running a family, right? Of getting the kids to this and making sure the bill is paid and did we pick up the grocery and all of those things. But to all of a sudden just be 2 of you, it's really interesting kind of place to reconnect. So that's been really, really kind of fascinating. Both my kids are older, and so it is giving us sort of this sneak peek or teaser trailer on sort of what empty nesting will look like here in a couple of years. And so it's very interesting. It's an interesting place to be at right now. So if you're watching this, by the way, if you're watching on the live stream, you might see I have something in my hand. It's an iced coffee. It looks really browny and milky, but it's an iced coffee. So cheers to you as well. All right. Yeah, so sure, look at folks. We're gonna jump into the news here. Now, truth be told, I know y'all think I'm technology. I'm not great with tech. I actually have bumpers pre-planned and pre-loaded here. So which one is it? Oh, it's this one. Let's jump into the news. I have this Stream Deck that's been sitting on my desk for a while. I very rarely stream, but this just gives me a great opportunity to use it, so I appreciate that. Hey, the news is brought to us by our good friends over at Manscaped. I'm going to talk about them later, but of course, our news is brought to you by, well, you, all of our amazing supporters over at patreon.com. If you're interested in supporting Nintendo Dads, head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Whereas for as little as $1 a month, you get to be part of our little corner of the internet. One of the coolest corners of the internet, I think. So we have some amazing individuals. We have, I think it's like over 150 participants in our Discord, sharing information about whether it's family, whether it's games, whether it's, sports, whatever's going on there. We've got our fantasy league going on in there. We got tons going on over there. And like literally $1 gets you into it, which is great. That $1, of course, supports us, helps us to keep the mics and the lights on. That's always great. So if you're interested, head over to patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. I'm selling it really well. Like, I'm telling you how amazing it is. I can't understand why you wouldn't be going there. But hey, we appreciate everyone who supports us every single month. Legitimately, it means the absolute world to us and allows for us to do more, create more, and hopefully inevitably add more value to our little small organization or enterprise here, which we are appreciative of every single person who supports us in any way, whether it is Patreon, whether it is Twitch, whether it's just listening, subscribing, retweeting. Man, everyone who's involved in any capacity, whether it's, and giving comments on podcasts, like rating them on iTunes or Spotify, those are all huge things for us. And so it probably feels like we just go through the motions, but I just genuinely want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Those really are, it's incredible. It really helps us just to continue to grow, and we've continued to see amazing opportunities that we as Nintendo Dads, the core team, the hosts, the community, have been able to be benefactors of. And I think of like last year we went to Nintendo Live, being able to get into that, getting invites to events like PAX West, Gamescom, getting exclusive time to hang out with Nintendo themselves, some of the access we get to some of our publishers and developers, some early access to games. That's because people support us. That's because people, retweet. That's because people watch our videos on YouTube. Those are all things that subscribe to us. Those are all things that actually help, like, in tremendous ways. So even if you don't have the finances to support, and that's 100% okay, man, even if you just like click a subscribe, retweet, any of those things that don't cost money, just to click a button, those are huge things as well. So I genuinely want to say thank you so much for everything that you do for us. So let's jump into the news. I'm gonna switch you over. And again, if you're watching on the video we've just premiered, you're seeing me click through buttons, which is pretty impressive. Let's jump into the news. The news is actually pretty light this week, so we are going to jump into a couple things. And again, this is typically not uncommon for the beginning of July. Nintendo has sort of come up to, they've done their big direct. They had their big energy, showed us everything they've got or everything they want to show us in their direct, which I think is still amazing. We had some great conversations the last few weeks about it. And now it kind of just like, they're like, hey, we good. We just going to take a bit of a break for a couple of weeks. We're going to, you're all going to be fine. Your next major release is middle of July. You're all going to be fine. So just calm. So that's really what we've seen this week. And of course, obviously, if you're following Nintendo of America as well, as I mentioned earlier, it's Independence Day. So, not big news drops during that time. A couple things that did come out from Nintendo that they did tweet. There is a new content update for F-Zero 99. Now this is available to Nintendo Switch Online members. There are some new parts that are added. Star Rivals, festival tracks, and expanded team battles, new achievements, weekend events, and emotes. And so this is the version 1.40. Yeah, and so this is interesting. It says here, the legendary Captain Falcon and others will appear as your star rivals. I'm going to click on this more button. Again, I'm doing this through Twitter, so I don't really know what I'm going to get here. There's a news section of Nintendo. I didn't know this. Let's take a look here. Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. So all right. So it just basically tells us exactly what just happened. So, and you can emote now by trying the L or R button and pressing A or X, B, Y, that kind of stuff. So that's great. Very cool. I played F-Zero 99 a little bit, a couple times. Didn't mind it. I wasn't great at it. There is such a passion for F-Zero. and again, I played F-Zero on the Super Nintendo when I was growing up. I think I may have even had it, and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't like, man, I am jonesing for some F-Zero. But it is such. I find with folks, you either care deeply about F-Zero or you don't give a darn at all. And it's so great to see this franchise sort of be kind of re-engaged in a way that it hasn't for a very long time. And I'm curious if like Nintendo really looks at that data as well of like, what do we hear about people who are engaged with F-Zero? How many people are playing the game? How many downloads? How long are people playing? Like, do they use that data to help drive decisions regarding what the next game they're going to create or spend time in is, right? So do they have that data and say, oh, there is something here about F-Zero. There is an audience here. There is a fan base. We should look at how can we bring back F-Zero in a way that might be meaningful as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to kind of see whatever happens with that. But yeah, congratulations. If you're still playing F-Zero 99, let me know in the comments below. Like, I know for some people, this kind of announcement super hyped them up. That's awesome. I know our good friend Andre from Game Explain really loved F-Zero 99. So next time we have him on the show, we're gonna have to ask him a little bit more about that. But that's great, fantastic stuff. And then late last night, Nintendo sent out another tweet. And again, I'm just reading off their tweets. 7 classic games are now available to play on the Nintendo Switch Online, specifically to the NES, so the NES portion of it. We have Urban Champion, Golf, Donkey Kong Jr. Math, Mach Rider, The Mystery of Atlantis, Solar Jetman, and Cobra Triangle. Interestingly enough, as I look at the contextualization of this, Solar Jetman and Cobra Triangle are bolded, and I don't know if that's like the font or how they did that, but that's a thing. That's a thing they did. Congratulations. None of these games, and again, I was born in 1981, and so. These are all games that I would have known or been definitely. I was an NES kid. That's maybe what I'm getting to. I was an NES kid. Very much so. None of these games I had. I remember hearing about Donkey Kong Jr. Math. Cobra Triangle, actually, I think I have seen that one or played. And then Golf. Like, I remember, like, this was when you would have, your friends would have NESs, right? And so they'd have all their games, and then the dad might have his own game, and it's Golf, right? And that was the thing. I'm going to go play Golf. But I'm looking at some footage here. I suspect this is Mach Rider. Man, this was the time. This was a time back in the 80s. And genuinely, if you're watching some of this footage, and you've seen games from the 80s, like, you got to remember, people were like, this is amazing. This is hot stuff. Like, games are not going to get better than this. And here we're watching Golf. I like how the guy golfing very much just looks like Mario. Just like if Mario was an actual person, and maybe might be on a borderline level of a divorce here, and definitely has kidney stones every once or twice a year, and has to stay away from shellfish because they've got gout. That's what that Mario playing golf looks like. So strangely specific, but nonetheless, I digress. All right. So yeah, that's some of the big news from Nintendo. I'm going to jump over to Nintendo Life here. Let's take a look at some of the news articles there. You're like, what are you doing? This is legitimately what we do before the show. We look at these websites and like, is there things here that we need to really talk about? This is one actually. Let's talk about this. So The Plucky Squire, published by Devolver Digital, is this is a game we've been talking about for a while. This looks like an amazing blend of like Paper Mario and it's just it just looks adorable. The Plucky Squire is on our radar. Has been on our radar since it was announced a while ago. When is it being released? They say in 2024, in this year. This game looks absolutely amazing. Interestingly enough, the co-director, James Turner, he actually worked for the Game Freak and Pokemon Company. But here's why I bring up the Plucky Squire. Because for the last about week, I have seen hands-on previews of the Plucky Squire. where they're bringing, and I think in this case, they're actually being based over in Europe, where they brought in some game journalists. Nintendo Life was one of them. There was a couple other ones I can't remember, but they're all doing hands-on. Maybe it may have actually also been an SGF or Summer Game Fest, and they are just now releasing the video. So that's possible too. So I could be wrong. I digress. But they're releasing hands-on video and people playing it and thoughts and gameplay footage. This game looks freaking amazing. We all know that. I can't wait for this game to come out. I can't remember who has it in the Fantasy Critic, but it was one of those games that we're all like, I hope nobody remembers the Plucky Squire. And then it's like, oh, what game is it? Plucky Squire. Son of a gun. Actually, I'm looking at this guy's lanyard. This is definitely Summer Game Fest. So this is probably where all these previews were from. They had an embargo on it. So I digress. The reason I'm saying this is I think Plucky Squire is much closer than I think maybe alluded to. I wouldn't be shocked if we have a September Direct and this might be shadow dropped. Out today, Plucky Squire. Or if not out today, a very short turnaround, like, hey, available next week. So I think Plucky Squire is getting really close to being done, and they're building some hype on it. So keep your eyes out for Plucky Squire. It's definitely on my radar of, like, I am super excited for this game. I'm going to talk about later other games I'm super excited for, and we're going to kind of build a little bit of a list. So yeah, let's get into that. Let's see what else we got going on here in the news. One thing I wanted to say, actually, I was trying to see if I can find it. This week, Nintendo actually put out a video, just dropped it, shadow dropped it on their YouTube channel, and did put a tweet out about it as well in regards to NES World Championship Edition coming out, and it's actually about 2 weeks from now is when it's coming out. There it is. Here it is. The second special Treehouse Plays NES World Championship Edition. Watch the experts take on a classic challenge and turn it up to party mode. They just dropped this, and they haven't done like Treehouse presentations for a little while actually. So this being dropped, I thought was actually really interesting. It's about 30 minutes long where you get an opportunity. There's 4 folks on a couch, and they're playing the Nintendo World Championship NES Edition. Playing party mode and playing against each other. So you get a bit of an opportunity to see this. We've seen some other previews and events. I know IGN was there. Kind of Funny was there. Also regarding kind of hands-on with Nintendo World Championship. So there's a lot of previews out there. The game comes out in 2 weeks. And again, this is more of a budget title. In the US, it's priced in at $30. And if you want to buy the physical edition, there's a big bundle that comes with cartridge. And I think there's like postcards in there as well. Like, sorry, cartridge, the gold cartridge that doesn't do anything. It's just a gold cartridge. There's some other physical goodies that are associated with it as well. But yeah, this is coming out real soon. This is interesting because I think, and I did talk a little bit about this before. I love the idea of it. I'm going to pick it up. Actually, all the team have already pre-ordered it, the physical edition, except for me. I'm going to just get the digital one. I don't want more. I got enough cluttery Nintendo stuff on my shelves that I'm sort of being a little bit more picky and choosy about it. Although I would say if it did come with the NES Joy-Cons like it does in the Japanese bundle, I definitely would have picked it up because I don't have those Joy-Cons yet. So I digress. What was I saying? Yeah, we're all picking it up, so that'll be exciting. Yeah, I'm just picking the digital version though. But yeah, so we watch for an unboxing of that when that comes around. I was saying before, and again, we haven't had a chance to play it. I feel like, and I could be wrong, and I understand why they're doing this. I feel like this could have definitely been a added addition to the Nintendo Switch Online, right? Like, hey, as being a member of Nintendo Switch Online, we're also now giving you the Nintendo World Championship Edition. Bang, and because you paid, it's there and available for you. Obviously, the model that they're currently rolling out makes some more money, and especially the fact that. Like here's sort of the deal when you look at the pricing of it. The game's $30, the physical is $30, so you're paying another $30 for the physical merch stuff, right? That you're putting on your shelf. Nothing wrong with that, but I mean they definitely know their margins, right? Which is, hey, we can actually get a little bit more dollars out of the stuff by rolling out a bit of a merch line associated with it as well in the box. So we haven't seen Nintendo do like a pack-in bundle of like a lot of physical merch stuff before. I even think like Tears of the Kingdom, there wasn't anything, right? There was, I think, the deluxe edition. Yeah, deluxe edition was about it. So I don't know. It's interesting. So yeah, this is actually coming out on the, oh my gosh, I can't remember what day was it. 18th. I was 17th or 18th. 18th, 2 weeks from now. And so yeah, excited to play it. Yeah, it'll be very interesting to jump in. And so yeah, that'll be definitely on our radar. So watch for our unboxing and watch for our playthroughs as well. A couple of the games that were announced this week as well. Transformers Galactic Trials is coming to the Nintendo Switch in October. So if you are a Transformer fan, this will definitely want to be on your radar. I know that Marty and actually Tim both, when this was announced, sent out a kind of a message to the entire team. It was like, oh, this is totally on our radar. Let's take a look at it. And so there is you get to fight in the bot mode, and then transform, and it looks like you race at various times as well. So that is available in October. And also coming out this week is Alice's Adventures Special Pack. If you are a Power Wash Simulator individual, that is available for you as well. Basically, looks like you are exploring Alice in Wonderland and doing using Power Wash to wash stuff. If you're into Fortnite, the Magneto Battle Quest is now available over in Fortnite to unlock his outfit and more. So there is part of the challenge for you. And of course, Magneto is wielding the Omega level power also. So let's see if there's anything else going on here. Oh yeah, that's right too. I forgot about this. Over on, speaking of more Nintendo stuff, Nintendo of America, if you want to redeem some of your My Nintendo Platinum points, you can actually get a stylish keychain featuring Luigi and his trusty Poltergust 5000 and pal Polter Pup. Those are available right now that you can pre-order if you like sort of those kind of keychains and those little pieces to collect as well. I think those are sort of the big news items. I'm going to see what else is interesting here. Let's talk about some things that are on our radar for you to be aware of. I actually posted this out here, so hold on a second. Hold on. I'm going to go to our Twitter account. We always like to tell you about games to be aware of or to put on your radar, and I'm going to tell you right now that July, lots of games. This is how we okay. Lots and lots of games in July for your radar, and actually they seem to all be coming around two specific drops. And I'm gonna grab. I sent out a tweet in July 1st to let you know about this because there are some awesome games coming out here that we think you should be aware of. Here we go. All right, so coming up here in July. So again, these are games that are on our radar that we think you should be aware of as well. On July 15th, Darkest Dungeon 2 is coming out. On July 17th, TMNT Splintered Fate is coming out. July 18th, NES World Edition, and on July 18th, Shim are also coming out as well. So it's a really busy week starting in early July or mid-July. The next 2 weeks, it does seem like games are, we're almost done this week. Next week doesn't seem to have any huge hitters, but interestingly enough, there are a bunch of games about mid-July. These are on our radar. I do a little bit of an early chat with the guys. I'm like, hey guys, what's on your radar? What do you want to talk about? Like, what games are you interested in? See if I can get codes for them. And these are some of the games that came back, and all of them are, mid-July. And actually, I'm not done yet, because also in mid-July, July 18th, Saturn DX is coming out. And actually, interestingly enough, we already have a code for that. Tim is currently working on some coverage for that, so we can see that game when it releases here, when the embargo drops, which I think is actually before release date. I don't want to tell you exactly what it is. Bo Path of Teal Lotus. Interestingly enough, this was scheduled when I sent this tweet out for July 18th. They've actually moved the date up by one day onto July 17th. And I don't know if they saw how many games were coming out on the 18th and wanted to give a 1 day's grace or 1 day out of the way. But that's definitely another one to be aware of. And then on July 25th, Arranger is another game to be aware of on your radar. That's 7 games right there. To be on your radar to look out for. I'll tell you right now, I am super excited as I put this list together. I'm super excited for NES Edition, Shim, and I'll actually tell you right now, we do actually currently already have Shim. We have content getting available, so when the embargo drops, you'll be able to have a first look at Shim. So that is currently being worked on. I'm very excited for Bo Path of the Teal Lotus. I think that looks very, very cool. And then on July 25th, a Ranger. So there are a ton of games coming out in July. So if you've got some eShop credits maybe, or you're thinking about, man, it's a slow time, there are some amazing games. Of course, you've probably got an amazing backlog like I do of games that you maybe want to be playing. So some great stuff coming up, but also maybe you want to tackle that backlog. So that is it for our news. Again, it's been a light news week, folks. You know what I just did? Here's the funny part. I just looked down to make sure. I was like, please tell me I didn't accidentally at some point stop recording here. I did not. So that's great. I'm happy about that. So, folks, hold on a second. Boom, there it is. All right. Oh, that's not the one either. There it is. I have to get better at my Steam Deck and my collection, or my clicking on buttons here. All right. With that being said, we are now going to take a word from our sponsor over at Manscaped. Which one do we want to play? Folks, support Nintendo Dads is brought to you by Manscaped. Listen, here's the deal, folks. It is hot out there. It is a hot summer. As a matter of fact, over in Alberta next week, 35 degrees Celsius. Now, if you're like, listen, Justin, I'm in America, and I don't know what Celsius means, then pull your car over, slap yourself 3 times, open up Google, and then translate Celsius to Fahrenheit. Because I'm not doing that for you. I don't know. Listen, again, America, come on. Everybody else is on like the metric system. What's wrong with you? Get on board. This make your July 4th, 2024. Maybe it starts with you, listener. Maybe it starts with you. Start calling things in kilometers and Celsius. Maybe we can have a real grassroots movement that you all can get on board, because I think it's critical for you. But nonetheless, I digress. Here's the deal. It's going to be a hot one. And when it's hot outside, you get sweaty, you feel uncomfortable. You don't like that at all. And I hear you. I'm a big guy. I don't like being sweaty. And especially a little bit of ball sweat. You know, that's not fun. It's just itchy. It doesn't feel good. So here's what you do. You head over to manscaped.com. Okay. Use the promo code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. But when you're there, what you want to do is they actually have ball deodorant. You can literally select ball deodorant. It's a nice little cooling gel or a cooling cream. You put it on, give it a bit of a rub. Listen, you put deodorant on some of the other stinky parts of your body, like your arm. Why would you not put it on probably another very stinky spot, potentially, that sweats a lot, right? A little bit of ball deodorant, it just feels a little bit more relaxing, feels a bit more cooling, right? You don't get as, you're smelling better, right? There's no chafing. And so listen, we love Manscaped over here at Nintendo Dads HQ. We think they are tremendous partners. We love their products. We use them. As a matter of fact, today, I got a fresh haircut, and then had to shave off the beard. Of course, I used their beard trimmer and got it down to this nice little stubbly stubble that's going on here. And so, listen, they have amazing products. It's going to be a hot summer. They've got some cooling, refreshing body sprays as well that are hydrating sprays. I actually used it a couple days ago. I was mowing the lawn. I was hot and sweaty afterwards, and my wife and I were going to head out for a date later that day, and I was like, I need to quickly feel a little bit fresher than I do right now. So a little bit of a hydration body spray, rub that in, threw on some deodorant, of course, Manscaped deodorant. I was feeling fresh and ready to go, and I was off the races. So, folks, again, head over to manscaped.com, use the code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Big thanks to Manscaped, tremendous sponsors of Nintendo Dads. We are so thankful for them, but we're also thankful for you, and hopefully the products that we're providing to you at discounts you enjoy as well. All right, so that's it. Let's get into what we've been playing. All right, I'm actually going to call an audible because what I'm going to do instead, hold on a second, is we're going to talk about games that I am the most excited for 2024. So games that are coming up that are on my radar. So I'm going to build a little bit of my list. It may or may not be top games, or may not be a top 10, maybe the top 6 games I'm most excited for. But we're going to start talking about that. So hold on a second. All right, so let's talk about some games that are coming out that I'm super excited for. So first, Zelda, right? Wisdom of Trails? That's not wisdom. I'm going to call it the Wisdom game because I don't remember the rest of it is. What else? I was talking about Bow, right? That Path of Teal game. We were talking about that earlier. A Ranger we were talking about, right? Yeah, we were talking about that one. Talking about some indies. A Ranger isn't a game I'm excited. SteamWorld Quest? Yeah, SteamWorld Quest. That's right. SteamWorld Quest 2. I'm excited for that game. NES edition, I'm excited for. Man, I hit the button too fast. Sorry. NES edition. Okay, what else am I excited for? Well, sure. Look at Mickey Rebrush. That one's on my list. Mario Party's on my list. Brothership is on my list. So that's Mario and Luigi. M&L Brothership. M&L Brothership. I'm excited for Lego's Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. I was like, what is it called? Okay. What else am I excited for? Oh, I am excited for Plucky Squire. We don't know when that is, but I'm going to put it on here because I think it's important. Plucky Squire. How many games we got there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ladies and gentlemen, we got a top 10. Wow, 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 wow. All right, so let's start doing my top 10 games that I am the most excited for in the rest of this year. That we know, that's been announced, right? Of course, there's other games that could come out that could change this list. But what we know to be true right now. What would I say is my number 10? Number 10. You know, I'm going to say my number 10. So we're going down. 10 is... This is tough. I'm going to be honest. It's a toss-up between... I think my number 10... My number 10 is NES World Championship. I am excited for it. I'm excited to play in a couple of weeks. I don't know if... Here's the thing I wonder about that game is, does it have the legs to hold for a while? Is it just is it more just fun as a party game? The online competition part, does that like... And also, do I just have nostalgia of it because it's an NES, right? If it was like, if it was, Atari Championship Edition, would I care at all? And I don't know if I would. So I don't know if nostalgia is the thing that's pulling me there. All right. So number 10, NES Championship. Let's go to number 9. I'm going to say number 9. I'm going to say SteamWorld Quest 2. SteamWorld Quest 2. I liked the first SteamWorld Quest. It's not SteamWorld Quest. What is this? SteamWorld? It's the freaking RPG. Heist. There it is. It's not Heist Quest. SteamWorld Heist 2. I played the first one. I really enjoyed it. I have an emotional attachment to that. That's where I met Bobby Pauls, a Nintendo guru, for the first time. We had some great conversations about that game. So that was sort of how he entered my atmosphere. So there may be some, I recognize there may be some emotional attachment to that one as well. But number 9, yeah, I'm excited to play it. I'm not like, man, I need that in my blood right now. But I'm like, yeah, I see you. I see what you're doing. I'm excited for that. Okay. Let's head over to number 8. I'm going to go number 8 is Arranger. And Arranger is a puzzle. This is the game where the puzzle board moves, but your character sort of stays still. And I've heard some previews from SGF where it's a real puzzle solving game. And sometimes puzzle games break my brain. So I'm excited to try it. It looks good. I love what I've seen from screenshots. Previews sound encouraging. I'm actually kind of really hoping. We've put in a request for a code. I'm hoping we get it earlier than not so we can really jump into it. But yeah, I'm going to say Arranger is number 8. Number 7. Number 7 is Mickey Rebrush. I did not play this game before. I think it was released on the Wii, I think. I did not play this game before, but it definitely has caught my attention. It looks like a great 3D platformer. I actually read a little bit about the game during Jason Schreier's recent book, Restart. I can't remember what it was, but basically games that struggled and then studios that got shut down. And Mickey Rebrush was sort of one of those games in there that was highlighted. So Mickey Rebrush, the challenge with Mickey Rebrush is it's coming at the same time as the new Zelda game, Wisdom of Trial of Wisdoms. Why my brain? Listen, folks, it's 9:40. My brain's not working well today, right? But yeah, Mickey Rebrush looks good. I'm definitely excited to try that. Next, I'm going to say number 6 is Bow Path of the Teal Lotus. This looks like and has been described, and this is the challenge when you. Sometimes people are like, what are these? And I've seen this recently on Twitter. It was like, what games inspired you to make a specific game, right? And so I'm pretty sure the developer was like Hollow Knight, oh my gosh, Metroid, Hollow Knight, Metroid, and I think it was Okami. And I was like, all of those things combined sound amazing. And so Bow Path of the Teal Lotus has been on my, definitely like when I saw it previewed, the art style is beautiful. Kind of a hand-drawn hand-drawn watercolor visuals. That, like, when I saw that, I was like, yep, that looks amazing. So Bow Path of the Teal Lotus is my number 6. Listen, again, this is going to be straight on honest with you. Put in a request for a code. We're hoping to get it early so we can get content up early. Number 5. This is where we're starting to hit the rubber hits the road here. Rubber hits the road. I'm going to say my number 5 game. This is tough. My number 5 game is Lego Horizon Zero Dawn on the Nintendo Switch, which I believe is, they've only said holiday, but that is what I'm going to put down as my number 5 game for hype. Yeah, it looks good. I think it's fantastically funny that a PlayStation character and IP is now on Nintendo Switch. I think that's brilliant. Yeah, so it looks good. Again, I heard some early trailers about it, or early reviews, previews, hands-on. Looks good, so I'm excited about that. Number 4. I'm going to say, y'all are going to think I'm crazy. Mario and Luigi Brothership is my number 4 game. I have played some of the Mario and Luigi series. Not a lot of it. I don't think I've completed. Definitely haven't completed any of them. And this looks great. I love the art style. Love what it looks like. I think it's great time for Nintendo, early November. And we'll talk about it in a little bit. I'm wondering if I'm just going to be Mario RPG. And I know it's not the exact same. I wonder if there's a little bit of fatigue that I might be experiencing with it. I'm not 100% sure. It looks good. I thought it was a great lift at the beginning of the Direct. I am still excited for it, but I don't know if it's like it's in my top 5, which is good enough. I don't know why I'm trying to justify this to you, but that's where Mario and Luigi is for me. Number 3. I'm going to say the Mario Party Jamboree. It's Mario Party, and it's all it needs to be, and it looks like it's got more stuff. And like I said before, this is cool. The new Mario Party is out. You're going to invite over friends. You're going to order Chinese food or pizzas and, crack open a couple beverages and hang out and just have an absolute blast. And with the family or with friends coming over. And so I love that. And so this is a no-brainer. Number 3. Number 2 for me, for my hype. And again, this is excitement, has to be the Plucky Squire. This looks amazing. I want it out soon. All the previews have got me more and more excited for it. There's no doubt about it. It looks great. Everything looks great about it. The colors, the changing of going from what looks like Paper Mario to not a 3D, but it just the whole paper aesthetic and book aesthetic looks just absolutely wonderful. And I love all that. And of course, the game that has been running through my head rent-free the entire time is the new Legend of Zelda Trials of Wisdom of Trials game. That cannot come quick enough. Cannot come quick enough. I am so excited for that game. Yeah. Like, it's the idea of like some of the Tears of the Kingdom open sandbox mechanics and world in a more refined sandbox in some ways, right? With some kind of guardrails around it. This looks incredible. I'm just, yeah. And of course the art style similar to Link's Awakening, that sort of 3D claymation, like that game, that like, yes, that game looks amazing and I can't wait for it. That's it. That's all I'm going to say to it. That's absolutely incredible. So folks, those are my top 10. Let's run them down again. My top 10 most hyped games coming out that we know of right now for the rest of 2024 is at number 10, NES World Collection. Number 9, SteamWorld Heist 2. Number 8, Arranger. 7, Mickey Rebrush. Number 6, Bow Path of the Teal Lotus. Number 5, Legos Horizon Zero Dawn. Number 4, Mario and Luigi's Brothership. Number 3, Mario Party Jamboree. Number 2, Plucky Squire. And number 1, The Legend of Zelda Wisdom of Trial. I can't remember for the life of me what the contextualization is there. But folks, that is my list. So hey, let's jump into what you've been playing. All right, folks. So what have I been playing? Well, I've been playing a couple of games. I've been playing one game for embargo that I can't talk about, and eventually you'll find out why, because it's how embargoes work. But what have I been playing? I played a little bit of Beyond Good and Evil, the 20-year anniversary edition that came out last week. Got about 45 minutes into it. It was really interesting because Beyond Good and Evil, I had never played it before, but it is such a... Like, if you, as a video game pundit, you sort of like recognize some games that are maybe not in your, that you played, but the relevance of. And that was definitely one of those games that I was very aware of the relevance of it. And a lot of people talk about it, sort of the nostalgia for it, or sort of the cult following. I enjoyed what I played. Definitely, it feels like a game that was designed and built in the early 2000s, which isn't a bad thing, right? It's over 20 years. It's 20 years old. But it definitely feels like that 3D. They were sort of just figuring out how to do 3D a little bit more effectively. It was funny when I started up, and I said it in our first Let's Play. The game actually says like, "Hey, the characters in here are maybe a little bit offensive because of some of the stereotypes that we were going for 20 years ago, and so we recognize that it's not necessarily okay now, but we're not fixing that." But here you go. So, but I have enjoyed what I've been playing of it. I think I'm definitely going to continue to play it, and it just kind of feels like a comfort food in some ways, just from that, like, that style, that look of games, that early 3D modeling of games that the developers were just understanding what to do with it. It is interesting. One of the things they did say here from a dialogue perspective is that they did change a dialogue line somewhere in the game or something to imply or to allude that Beyond Good and Evil 2 is still in the works and still being developed. Whether that is true, I don't necessarily know. I mean, they can't say it's not true, right? I mean, that game has sort of been in development hell for, I don't remember when it was when it was last shown, I think 2018. But I mean, like, everyone's like, when is it? So, so I've been playing a little bit of that. I'm still working through Paper Mario 1000-Year Door. I have 4 stars, so I'm getting there. I am definitely getting there. But I'm starting to do I'm starting to peter off of it a little bit. And so I want to just kind of like power through. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of July. I've been playing Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. Big thanks to our good friends over at Nintendo for providing us a code for that. I have been playing it. Listen, I love Luigi's Mansion. All right. Unapologetically, I love Luigi's Mansion. Luigi's Mansion 2, I'm loving it. Luigi's Mansion 3, amazing. Now, this is definitely like they haven't made any structural changes in regards to like what we learned from Luigi's Mansion 3 to apply to Luigi's Mansion 2. They have re-HD'd it, right? They've made it playable on the on the Nintendo Switch. It was a 3DS game. But listen, I'm still loving it. I love that, like, hey, I can go in and do this little adventure for Professor Egag. Takes me 15 minutes, maybe half an hour, and then I'm moving myself forward. I love the replayability where you can go back and discover, hey, did I find that ghost? Did I find that bone? And they do have an online player function as well. I would definitely say Luigi's Mansion 3 is, of course, the more refined, the better of the two. But Luigi's Mansion 2 is still an absolute banger. And it just made me think more and more as I'm playing it. I'm like, man, I really hope that when the Switch 2 comes out, they have Luigi's Mansion 4 ready to go because it's so much fun and I just enjoy Luigi's Mansion. Also, like, fingers crossed that Luigi's Mansion 1 comes out as well. That would be a great, like, remaster, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I'm absolutely enjoying it, having a blast. Some of the cutscenes, like, are just cute and adorable, right? Like Luigi being scared of a ghost and the exploration of the world, and like, yeah, it's amazing. It's such a great game. I love it. Folks, that's really what I've been playing. I actually jumped back into Apex Legends recently too. I should say that. Me and my friend Jeff, we do a lot of gaming on Mondays, right? We do some online gaming, and we have sort of became bored with the season of Fortnite, so we jumped onto Apex. Man, still not good at that game. Still get wrecked in that game, but I'm playing on my Xbox, and so that's kind of been nice as well. So I like playing on the Xbox. I was playing some Valorant on there not too long ago as well. So that's a great one. Ladies and gentlemen, sure, look it. That is a show. We're what do we got here? 45 minutes. That's not bad for a one-man show. I appreciate it. I didn't ask for any questions this week, so there are no questions. And you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Hold on a second. Do I even have up the document still? I do have the document because there are some people that I want to thank as we're getting ready to transition out. Where's my out button? I have an out button. Hold on. Let me find it here, folks. Let me just simmer down. All right. I see you. All right. All right. Hey, first, a huge thank you to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberg, Jacqueline Amir, RJ Kern, Solo Something, and the over 100 Patreon supporters that are there. You support us. You're amazing. I love you so much. Big special thank you to our Twitch subscribers and our followers and our YouTube subs. Hey, if you want to help us out, go over to YouTube, sub, watch some of our videos. Those are huge things. We greatly, greatly appreciate you doing that. If you're looking for more information on Nintendo Dads, where do you look? Hey, you head over to our website, and that is nintendodads.org. And you can find all of our Spotify feeds for our podcasts, which include Star Wars Dads After Dark, the Retro Logic family of podcasts, featuring Retro Logic, On Topic Retro, Retro Groove, and Film Logic. For our latest tweets, YouTube videos, follow us there as well. As all of our links to our social media, including Patreon and Extra Life pages, and any Nintendo Dads merch that you may be interested in purchasing. We have updated our merch store. Actually, head over to our YouTube channel. There's some amazing merch on there that you may want to pick up as well. Big thanks to Manscaped for our continued support, and of course, using that code NINDADS, NINDADS, for 20% off and free shipping. Hey, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or want to let us know about your thoughts, send us an email over at nintendodads@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail, 92925-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix, which is the music you hear throughout the show. And hey, listen, wherever you get your podcasts of choice, whether it's Spotify, Apple, or wherever, do us a big favor, leave us a 5-star review. It helps us greatly, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Folks, for me and for the rest of the crew, have a happy week. Have a fantastic celebration of your country's independence, wherever that might be for you, and be well, all right? Till we talk next week, take care. Bye-bye.